There's a moment almost nobody prepares you for. It's not when you buy something expensive. It's not when you get a raise. It's not when you hit some flashy milestone you can post online. It's the first time you open your banking app and nothing tightens in your chest. You look at the balance. You don't start calculating how many days are left until payday. You don't mentally subtract rent, groceries, and that bill you forgot about. You just look at the number and feel steady. Most people think that feeling only comes with six figures or $1 million. That's what social media sells. Big numbers, big lifestyles, big promises. But the real psychological shift happens much earlier, at a number that doesn't look impressive on a thumbnail. For most people, that number is $20,000. My name is Finance Explainer. I spend a lot of time studying financial behavior and the invisible thresholds that change how people think about money. And what I've learned is this: wealth is not built in a straight line. It's built in stages, and certain stages quietly rewrite the rules. Your first $20,000 is one of those stages. Before it, everything feels heavy. Saving feels slow. Investing feels pointless. Progress feels invisible. It's like trying to push a stalled car. At first, it barely moves. You're straining. You're questioning whether it's even worth the effort. But once the wheels start turning, momentum begins to help you. That first 20,000 is when the wheels start turning. And the shift isn't just financial. It's biological. When you have no savings, your brain operates in survival mode. Every decision runs through a threat filter. Can I afford this? What if something breaks? What if I lose my job? You don't evaluate opportunities. You evaluate risk. You stay in jobs you don't like because missing one paycheck would hurt too much. You avoid smart risks because you don't have room for mistakes. You say yes when you want to say no. It's almost impossible to think long-term when your margin for error is zero. But once you build a real buffer, your nervous system calms down. You stop asking, how do I survive this month? And you start asking, how do I grow what I have? That is a completely different mindset. Even research from major investment firms shows that small emergency funds reduce stress and increase financial confidence. A few $1,000s helps, but when you reach 3 to 6 months of expenses, which for many people lands around 20,000, you move out of constant reaction mode. You gain a breathing room, and breathing room changes everything. Now let's talk about time. Imagine you invest $1,000 a month and earn an average annual return of 8%. Reaching $20,000 might take around a year and a half of consistency. That means discipline. That means saying no when it would be easier to say yes. That means staying patient when nothing exciting seems to be happening. But here's what most people don't realize. The second $20,000 usually comes faster because now your money is working too. At first, the returns are small, almost invisible, but they start contributing. You're no longer building loan. This is compound growth becoming real. 8% on $2,000 barely feels like anything. 8% on $20,000 feels noticeable. 8% on $200,000 can change your entire year. The percentage doesn't change, the base number does. But the biggest shift at $20,000 isn't the math, it's your identity. To get there, you had to become more disciplined. You had to track spending. You had to delay gratification. You had to choose long-term comfort over short-term status. That process reshapes you. You stop being someone who hopes money works out. You become someone who manages it. And once you prove to yourself that you can build $20,000 from zero, wealth stops feeling mysterious. It becomes mechanical, repeatable. Another shift happens here too. You stop obsessing over tiny expenses and start focusing on big decisions. When you're financially stretched, you argue with yourself over small purchases. Every dollar feels critical. But once you have margin, you see the bigger picture. Your housing decision matters more than your coffee. Your income ceiling matters more than your streaming subscription. Your investment strategy matters more than cutting coupons. The biggest financial outcomes come from the biggest levers. Margin creates clarity. There's also a powerful shift in your career. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, your negotiating power is limited. You may not say it out loud, but you feel it. You hesitate to push for raises. You tolerate environments that drain you. You avoid rocking the boat. But with 20,000 saved, you gain optionality. You don't have to quit your job, but you could survive if you did. That possibility changes how you show up. You speak more confidently. You negotiate more calmly. You make decisions from strength instead of fear. Often, you never even touch the savings, but its presence changes your behavior in ways that increase your earning potential. However, this is where many people make a mistake. They hit 20,000 and treat it like reward money. New car, bigger apartment, expensive trip. But that first 20,000 is not celebration money. It's infrastructure. It's the foundation. If you pull it out for lifestyle upgrades, you reset the system. Instead, you protect it. You let it compound. You let it create stability. And something subtle happens. Unexpected expenses stop feeling catastrophic. A car repair becomes inconvenient instead of devastating. A surprise bill becomes manageable. A temporary setback becomes survivable. When stress drops, decision quality improves. And when decision quality improves, your results tend to improve too. You start seeing opportunities you couldn't see before, investing in new skills, taking calculated career moves, exploring side income with real potential. Money doesn't magically attract money. Capital creates flexibility. Flexibility creates better decisions. Better decisions create growth. Now, $20,000 will not make you rich overnight. It won't buy luxury or early retirement, but it moves you from survival to strategy. It marks the line between reacting to life and choosing your direction. And once you cross that line, you'll never look at money the same way again, because you'll realize something important. Wealth doesn't begin when you feel rich. It begins when you stop feeling afraid. Build the first 20,000. Protect it. Let it work. Let it change how you think. After that, the journey doesn't disappear, but it feels lighter.